Hello, hello, gorgeous souls. I'm Leonie Dawson, and I am the writer and illustrator and creator of the 2019 My Shining Year Goals workbooks. And there's two versions, the life one and the business one. So I've gotten lots and lots of requests from people who wanted to look through these babies. So I'm going to be doing that today, and that should be so much fun. So first and foremost, if you don't know about these workbooks, welcome to a revolution, really, because I created these back for 2010. So this is 9 years going strong. And I created them first and foremost for myself because I knew that setting goals was really, really important. And there's a bunch of research that says that 80% of people don't even set goals. 16% of people think about their goals but don't write them down. Just 3% think of their goals and write them down, and only 1% think of their goals, write them down, and then regularly review them. And that 1% are among the highest achievers in the world. So there's a whole lot of evidence that says writing down your goals and reviewing them is really, really potent and powerful to transforming your life and transforming your business. So when I thought, yeah, I want to start creating goals for myself, but I didn't want to do it in one of those kind of like black and white, really kind of masculine kind of ways. It just didn't feel inspiring whatsoever. What was inspiring for me was to create something really colorful and really scrumptious and something that inspired me to actually write in. So I created it for myself first and foremost. And then I thought, oh, you know what? I'll just see if anyone wants like the PDF to buy it online. And I put it up and I thought, well, if 10 people like it, then great. That year it went on to sell like 1,000 PDFs in the space of a month, and it's continued to just grow exponentially since then. So over 350,000 people around the world have used these workbooks. And the reason being, because once they use it once, they come back always, 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 because they see what a huge, massive difference it makes in their life. And there's the companion one. So if you own a business, or if you're thinking about owning a business, these babies, this baby, that baby is the right one for you. So let me take you through what is in these workbooks and exactly what it guides you through. So you can buy the printed book now. I have partnered with Ben Bella, which is a publishing house in America, and they print and distribute. You can buy them on Amazon. If you go to myshiningyear.com, it'll give you all the links to all the places that you can buy it. So even if you're in Australia, if you're in Europe, if you're in America, there's plenty of places to buy it. And further worldwide than that as well. Joe's saying they are fabulous. Thank you, Joe. Just one of those 350,000 people who are obsessive in love with it, just like me. So this is really to guide you through the process of reviewing your past year and setting goals. So it is full color. Like if you are thinking you will ever get bored doing this, you will not. You can also buy the PDF version still, but most people tend to buy the printed version. So go to myshiningyear.com. So this is just some people sharing about the huge difference it's made. And these are really well-known. A lot of them are really well-known authors and CEOs who use these workbooks and have used them for many years. So it goes through talking about why this workbook works, how to use it, what you can expect from using the workbooks. So a lot of people who, after using the life workbook, they report saying that they get more dreams and goals achieved, increased self-confidence, a group of really wonderful, inspiring new friends, deeper, more fulfilling relationships, purpose, direction, and motivation, improved productivity, a wild surge of joyful creativity, your bucket list being ticked off, and sky-high levels of joy, love, calm, and fulfillment. And I just have gotten so many emails over the years from people who have used these workbooks and had huge, massive dreams come true from using it. So that inspires me so much. So it's going to give you the statistics, just like I shared with you, how to use the workbooks. And then we're going to get into celebrating and releasing. So this first part of the book is a little bit of text, but then it goes into just really interactive workbook space. So we always close out the year beforehand. And the reason being is that every single year that we go through, we learn some really, really important lessons, and there's things to celebrate, there are things to grieve, there are things to resolve in order for us to be clear and walking into the new year with a whole lot more energy and a lot more understanding of ourselves, and we get the opportunity to see what worked and what didn't so that we can do better, because as Maya Angelou says, when we know better we do better. So the closing ceremony is really an opportunity for you to go through that process. It's got questions that guide you through it, so it doesn't matter whether you write a little or a lot, just whatever is you feel called to for answering. Some people will use up everything and like use up that whole area, and some will just need a few words. It also depends on the year as well, how much you've got to clear. And then you've got like this area is what areas felt out of whack, hard to follow, or crazy making in the last year, and what can be done to change them. It's that reflective space to go, you know what, this part felt really bonkers and really hard, and this is what I might be able to do differently in the future. Then we do a roundup. So we go through like the best and the worst and the hardest bits. This part was invented because I would sit with my husband at the start of every year and go through and just ask him a whole bunch of questions because I was really interested. And he's also hilarious, and I'm always fascinated by what he comes out with. So those are the questions I just kind of made up to interview my husband. And now we get to interview ourselves. You can interview your kids, your partners, all that kind of stuff. It's just really a really lovely way to kind of tie up the last year in a beautiful bow and really hold the gratitude for the good stuff and the hard stuff as well. I mean, sometimes years are just so bullshit. You're like, oh God, that was so painful and I don't really want to celebrate it. But then when we look back, we're like, wow, I learned some really big and important stuff from that. So that's and this is about journaling, ranting, getting clear, adding your gratitude, and then a completion circle where you put your hand there, and if you like, saying those words, that breathing and giving thanks for all that's past and welcoming in a new year. Mine's got a highlight. I don't know, it does not look like that, but then we go into invoking the new year ahead. So then we go into what is it that we want to create next. So there's some general overview questions first. And then we get into our chapter sections. So this is like the different parts of our life that we want to create goals around and have a think about what we might want to be developing in that area. So not only does it have some blank space, but then there's also some creative possibilities here as well. So I just say circle or color in anything you want to try over the next year. And I really just wanted to invite you into that imaginative space of, oh, maybe I would like to try that. And then there's some more possibilities and also some recommended resources for creativity as well if you want to explore that part of your life even more. If you know me, you know I'm a huge bookophile. I read lots and lots of books. In the last year, I've read 500 books. Not freaking kidding. A lot of them were kids' books, but a lot of them were my books that I read for myself as well. So over the years, I've really developed like a library of really good recommended resources, and I always get lots of feedback from people going, those were actually incredibly useful for my journey. So I'm grateful for that. Now we go into soul and ways like how do you want to nourish your soul over the next year as well. Some book recommendations. We go into your shining mind, which is about your education and your career. So some goals about that, workshops and education that you want to invite into your life, all those glorious things. And of course, resources, relationships. How do you want to deepen your friendships and your partnership relationships as well in the next year? So again, more and more questions to take you through that process. Resources. Family. So family goals that you want to set for you and your family. And it's really beautiful as well to sit down with your kids and ask them as well. So, from things as how can you help your children thrive this year? Some of the family adventures we'd like to have are some of the things we'd like to create together are, and really having that beautiful dreaming space to know what it is that you want to create as a family over the next year, and making sure as well that you've got what you need in order to thrive as a mother as well, because we can't give from an empty well, of course. Family resources to continue to strengthen and nourish. My shining body, some of the, like, what are our health goals over the next year, and some questions to help you go through it. Like, what does your body want more of this year? What does your body want less of? What kinds of activities will make your body shine over the next year? What kind of food do you feel like your body will need over the next year? Then we do a fun activity where we draw how our body feels right now and how we want our body to feel over the next year. And so it's not just about physical health, but like, I want to feel strong. I want to feel at home in my body. Those kinds of things. And it's amazing seeing how people get creative, or even if you don't feel like you're creative, just writing words on it is perfect, or collaging, however you want to get into it. Some movement options again, and you can color, circle, choose some of the things that you'd like to explore over the next year as well. It's really just opening you up to possibilities. My shining home. How do you want your house to feel this year? Do you have a space of your own? What are some things that you can do to make your house feel more homely? And a little map where you can choose, like, you can look at what areas might need decluttering or decorating in your home, and coloring or circling what areas need to be decluttered or decorated. My shining travel and adventures is next. Woo! Adventure time. Places you'd love to visit this year, people I'd love to visit this year. Countries on your bucket list to visit. Movies, concerts, or shows that you'd love to see. Then we move into finances. Yay! Because it's so important to really have a look at your finances, and it's when you start doing this work that your finances really improve. Money loves to be looked at, and even though that can feel really scary, this book is going to guide you through that. So it gives you some brainstorming pages, how you want to increase your income, some ways you could reduce your expenses, and it gives you some tips as well on how to be a better money custodian as well. And of course, some money resources for you, and taking the time to calculate your personal net worth. It might be something that you've never done before, or maybe you're really into this, but I love doing this each year, working out exactly what my assets are, what my liabilities are, and my net worth. And of course, it's not our soul's worth or anything like that, but it really, it gives us just a baseline. And it's okay if your net worth sucks right now, because it's a baseline and you can grow from that. And once you're aware of it, then you can make different decisions to help that grow. And I love seeing this grow from year to year. And it only started growing once I started paying attention to it. Okay, my shining community and world, how you want to contribute to your community and world this year, how you want to volunteer, how you want the world to change, what causes most deeply call to you, how much money you want to donate to charity, how you want to donate your time, what could you do to help the world change, what could you do to make your community shine. It's all those beautiful questions to go, what is, like, there might be so much shit that's wrong with the world, but what could I do? And it really puts you in that place of power, you know. Resources to inspire you on that front, and some ideas of ways that you could, do community work as well. My shining self-care, so important, so important. Retreat, taking a retreat for yourself, even if you don't feel like you can at this point, put it down there. I remember one year, a beautiful soul wrote that she wanted to walk the Camino, and she thought, how on earth am I going to do this? She had 5-year-old twins. But she just felt like, I really just want to walk the Camino. And she just wrote it down thinking it's never going to happen. And then she talked to her husband about it. And he's like, why don't you just go? Of course you can do that. We can work this out. And her community, her family, her husband kind of rallied around to give her the time. So by the time her birthday came around, she was walking the Camino that year. And it was just absolutely life-changing for her to go, I can do things for myself still, and I still can have time away. I was chatting to a friend yesterday, and she said, I think I've got to go away for a couple of days. And I said, well, why don't you just go away by yourself and have like a solo mama retreat and just watch TV, read books, go in your art journal. Like, you deserve that. Like, you're a mom, you can do that. She's like, oh, I've just never even thought of that. Of course we can take time for ourselves. And I used to think it was impossible for me as a mom to do that. But it's so much better for my family and for my kids when I do it. And it's so much better for me. All right, then we're going to talk about time. So it's doing a pie chart of how you currently spend your time and how you want to spend your time in the future. Things that you want to stop doing, creating ritual days, and I will explain what ritual days are. Ignore the highlighter I was going through to edit. For next year's, 2020s, no, not even next year's, years before. Giving yourself some permission slips, creating some mottos for yourself. I remember one year my motto was go slower, do less. And that was when I had a 2-year-old and was just, felt like I was frantic. And so I just keep on like remembering that motto. Take a deeper breath, walk a little bit slower, and elect to do less. And it was just the most deeply soul nourishing motto I could have had that year. So I give you some options and ideas. You can create your own mottos poster. 10 things you want to celebrate yourself. Creating an immersed in love portrait for yourself. Just to really nourish yourself with lots of positive affirmations and all those glorious things. Creating shining habits. So these are things that you want to create like as constant habits in your life and consistent. And it gives you some ideas. Again, ignore my editing marks. And it gives you space for a poster as well for you to create your own shining habits. So some of the things that I like to do is, so when I'm creating, one of my shining habits is to turn social media off. I use a self-control app. So it takes that social media off. Taking even just one intentional breath a day is really important to me. I love essential oils. So having essential oils diffusing in my house is really important. And they're just things that over time build up something really lovely. Okay, so shining habits, shining support. So the connections and support that you need in order to thrive. Shining dreams, and this is kind of rounding it up. So we're looking at the goals that you can't even possibly bear even thinking about right now. People love this, 100 things to do in 2019. Some people use this as a roundup for all the goals they've already created, or just really incentivize themselves to think about, like, go really big with 100 things that they could have done in the next year. You know, we have a whole new year awaiting for us, and how are we going to feel it? How are we going to paint it? And this is the canvas to start painting that vision. Creating a word for the year for yourself as well. Designing your dream day. Now, yes, there's lots of possibilities and ideas in here. You don't have to do them all. A lot of people do and find it and like love that so much. But even if you do like parts of this book, it's so much better than none at all. Doing an oracle reading for yourself. And so if you're a Christian, some people like to do it and just draw psalms from the Bible or whichever holy book that your religion resonates with. I am a pan-religious, Pan. I'm not Pan, Peter Pan. I don't really know. But I love using oracle cards like Doreen Virtues or the Gaian Tarot or the Osho Zen Tarot, and just drawing a card to give you something to meditate on and consider for those months. And it's amazing when I look back at the year afterwards, and I'm like, wow, those themes really resonated and really worked. So that's a really beautiful thing. Creating some affirmation cards for yourself to carry around or stick up in your house. Creating an everyday miracles jar. Fun. Creating a dream board. That gives you all the instructions on how to do that, and also gives you a mini dream board, like a portable one. The whole goal of this workbook is to become really well loved and really well thumbed, so that it becomes kind of like the tome that you turn to again and again. The list of things to do when everything sucks, because here's the thing, there's going to be moments when shit hits the fan and you're going to be like, oh God, I just don't even know what to do, because your brain has gone totally into reptile mode, and so it can't even think logically. And yet there's just some really small things that we can do to bring our brain back online again and to kind of get out of that mood. And so it's kind of pre-planning for that and writing the list now, and it gives you some ideas for your list as well. Then we go into My Shining Year, making your goals happen. And it takes you the magic mountain path to breaking your big goals down into smaller ones, and then numbering them in priority as well. So it gives you some magic mountain maps to mount, to hike up some of those big goals that you have. And remember what I said at the start of this, that only 1% of people regularly review their goals? There's actually monthly check-ins built in, so that once you've finished all your goals, at the end of each month, you fill in these little sections, these check-ins of what goals you've achieved, what goals you want to achieve, what went well, what can do better. And so that's one of those for the whole year. Da, 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 and a few note pages at the end. So that's the Life Goals book. It takes you through absolutely every single thing you need to know and think about and consider to develop a life that is just shining and resonating with you so beautifully. So if you have a life, you need this book. Teenage girls love this book as well. Mums need this book. Entrepreneurs need this book. Anybody, a lot of men use this book as well. Of course, it looks a bit girly, so it's mostly women that use it. A lot of kids use this who aren't even teenagers yet, because they just adore it so much and get so much out of it, and they do it with their mums, and it's just such a precious thing. So in terms of who needs this workbook, fucking everyone. Everybody does. And they make a really beautiful Christmas present as well. So you can order at myshiningyear.com. And now I'm going to take you through the Biz Goals workbook, because it is very different. It has very different questions. So if you have a business or are thinking of starting one, I highly recommend that you actually get both, because it's really important not just to be developing your business. Like, I think as an entrepreneur, it can be like, oh, I'm just going to focus on that. You still need to be able to have a life, and the books are very different to each other. It's not just like me copying and pasting like the same thing and then just putting business on it instead. It is different, and I'm going to take you through that now. Goals workbook, yay! So starts out as per usual. Let me just dive into it. Okay, so results that you should see from these work using the business workbook. These are the number one things that people say that the results that they see from using these workbooks: increased income, increased audience, reaching their business goals faster, a better work-life balance, increased self-confidence, more clarity and direction for business and life, discovering like-minded business soul sisters, getting the support and the team you need, and having your best year yet in business. They really are so super powerful, and that's why so many CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies use these books because they work so well and they've used them for years, which is really beautiful. And I created it for myself. I've had a lot of success in business, and they've just been absolutely miraculous. And it's like it's creating a business plan, but in a non-boring way. Now, again, we're going to do a business closing ceremony because we need to get really clear on what our business's weak points are. So the questions are specifically about that. Areas that did not work, areas that worked. We look at money. So we look at money quite intensively in the business one because it's even more important. It's really important to know it in your life, but there's more statistics to know in your business. And before you freak out, please know it's just going to guide you through really gently. And again, it's just a baseline, because if the numbers suck now, that's fine. It's a baseline for you to grow from. So it has a look at the revenue, your expenses, and your profit. And then gets you to do a pie chart for that as well. And if you don't know, it's a really, really good opportunity. You should be doing it anyway, to get those figures. Then we look at what the top selling products and services in 2018 were, how much they earned, creating a pie chart. Because here's the thing, what a lot of people discover, and I certainly did, is that some of the things that took a lot of my time and energy gave me the least amount of income. And so you go, oh, I should be focusing my efforts on that area instead of these areas. Or there's some opportunity to grow these even more. And so it just gives you so much clarity, and it gives you an insights area as well for you to have a think about how you want to change direction, knowing those numbers, because numbers give you power. How much your audience grew in the last year, what marketing worked for you this year, and what created wins. Worst thing, best thing, getting really clear and doing those deep dives into your business to work out exactly what happened and get the clarity for it. Now, invoking for 2019. We look at finances first, what your income goals are, how much you want to bring in, how much expenses you want to have, and the profit levels. And then we brainstorm out the details from that. So we have a look at expenses budgeting. Again, ignore the highlighting. This was my book for editing for the next one. So it's time to have a look at how much that could potentially cost you going forward. It's a really good opportunity to go, oh, maybe I want to cut back in this way, or maybe this is a good way for me to build the business further, is to invest in this area. Then it's playing around with how you want to get to your income numbers. So you have a look at your products and services and have a think about maybe some of the prices that you want to charge for those, how much you would need to sell, and then the total. And then what you're doing is you're playing around with numbers. Like you could say, okay, say you're a graphic designer. You might want to be on a retainer and have 10 clients at $1,000 a month. Or you want to sell, or you go, you know what, I want 5 clients at $2,000 a month, and that would make you the same amount of money. Or you want to have like 2 website projects, and that's $5,000 each per month, with this $10,000, right? So it's like, and then you list it all out, and then you work out what feels right and what it would be an enjoyable business model for you. So thinking about it from that perspective. Doesn't mean that you necessarily have to go in that direction, but it's just working out how, like, what numbers do I need? It's now ticking off some of the support that you would need on the finance front. And of course, if this is totally freaking you out, that is totally fine. It's totally understandable. What I'm trying to get you to do is move a little bit out of your comfort zone, because gaining this kind of financial awareness is going to make a huge amount of difference to you and to your company, and it's going to bring you good things. So even if it's uncomfortable sometimes, I promise, just do the work and you'll see huge results. Calculating your company's net worth. So that's different from your personal net worth. This is only the stuff that your business owns, and like its own credit cards, and where it's sitting within its own net worth for the business as well. Now, of course, when you own a company, then your company's net worth would then be in your personal net worth. Advice on becoming a better money custodian, some money resources to help you along the way as well. If you've got a team, like if you have staff at all to support you, this section's for you on working out what it is, what you need next. More and resources. Now we've got my shining support. So this goes into whether you have the right mentor, the right mastermind, the right office space, the right childcare, all those kinds of things to support you to do even more in your business in the way that you want to do it. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking, by the way. Obviously something very exciting is happening. Systems. So systems are the thing that hold your business together, so that if you weren't there, what things would continue ticking along because of the beauty of systems. And so this part usually completely freaks people out, and yet it's something that's going to be really, really powerful to give you a little bit more time to yourself, and it's going to help be easier if you ever decide to hire staff or hire more staff, is by having these systems in place. And so it takes you through a checklist of some systems that you can do, what you've got, what you don't have right now. You're not going to need all of it, but at least you know where things might need to be developed. So we're going to web systems, accounting systems, organization systems, standard operating procedures, all those kinds of things. And I'll explain it all step by step. It does not have to be creepy freaky. Legal systems, customer systems, and just general business systems as well. So lots of like ways to nourish your business even more, and some systems resources to help you out. Now, my shining boundaries and balance, my favorite thing to talk about, because obviously when we're business owners, it's so hard to like really, we get so excited and so passionate about our businesses. We're like, oh my God, I must do all the things, and forget about having a life. And it's not something that you can do forever, and it's not sustainable. So this is really about creating some good boundaries and some good balance. And so it gives you some ideas, some self-care rules to start instituting. Thanks, Beth. Appreciate it, Dal. Sorry, Dal. I'm just making a video. It's getting, again, your time sorted with your business, things that you're going to stop doing in your business, business shining habits, shining education, what business resources and education and workshops and mentors and teachers you want to call into your life, the things that you need to do in order to propel your business forward. Customers. How you're going to enrich your customer experience and also turn it into a system and have better boundaries so that doesn't just drive you absolutely nuts. So it'll take you through those questions to help you get there as well. And customer love day. So you get a specific day of the year where you just get to make love, sweet, sweet love to your customer. Totally consensual way. Then we go into marketing, and the beauty of this is by filling this out, you've got a plan. You have your marketing plan, you have your whole business plan for the year ahead, and it's not fucking boring. It's actually exciting and it's delicious. So looking at how you're going to extend your reach, setting your goals on that level, what media mentions you want to get, speaking gigs, joint ventures, networking, testimonials, how you're going to gather them more and promote them more. Things that you want to create this year as well. It'll take you through all of those things. More questions. And it's really, each part is just to get your brain firing with more and more possibilities. It's really exciting. My shining world. So looking at how you can contribute to the world through your business, and how you can reduce your environmental impact, how you can make a more positive impact in the world as well, helping your local community, doing your B Corp assessment, all those kinds of glorious things. And again, we do a rounding it up section so that you can take the goals that you've set, add to them if there's more things that have, like, it's kind of incited more ideas in your mind about what's possible. You create an oracle card and a dream card just for your business as well, because your life is like all of the things and your business is like, it's got its own energetic entity. And again, you go through and take those big business goals and turn it into magical mountain maps. And then at the end, you've got your specific monthly check-ins for your business for each month as well. Because again, it's the 1% who regularly review, write down those goals that have the most amount of success. So these are the big tools. These are the things that really, really work to helping you create an incredible shining business and shining life for yourself in 2019. Oh, my daddy's just trying to call me. Daddy, I'll call you back later. So if you've got any questions, feel free to email support@leoniedawson.com, message us. You can order them at myshiningyear.com. Make sure you order them there now so that you've got them ready to go when you're ready to plan. Okay. All right. This has been so fun. My dad's still calling me. Dad, I love you. All right. So I can't wait to see what you do with these. And if you haven't already, make sure that you join the My Shining Year Goals Workbook as Facebook group. I think there's about 17,000 of us in there, which is so fun. And I can't wait to see what miracles you create with these beautiful books. I'm sending you all so much love and happy miracle making.